We got to bring back Eric Bieniemy if you're staying in-house. Am I right or wrong?
I think so. If you're going to stick with somebody that's in the lineage of the Andy Reid coaching tree, I think you just bring back Eric Bieniemy, correct?
Absolutely.
I think that's a shoo-in. The Chiefs are moving to Kansas.
Life moves on, man. Life moves on. It's bound to happen. Change has to come.
The Leo Chenal. To me, Mike, this is a must sign.
Leo Chenal is a dog.
Dog.
If we don't bring back Leo Chenal, Brett Veach, put in your walking papers, because if I were Clark Hunt, I'd go down there and fire him myself if you can't get this guy back on the roster.
You're fired. Get out of here. You're fired.
I absolutely think it's been egregious that they've underutilized Leo Chenal in the years that we've had him. He is a football player, and he's damn good, and he can do whatever you want him to do. And
I can describe him. Violence, physicality.
Leo, what do you bring to the table for the kingdom? Violence and physicality, man. That's it. I am addicted to hitting people. I love it. I can't get enough.
He wants to hit somebody. And that's what I like about Leo. He's an old school football player, Steve.
And I think Leo has still yet to hit his ceiling.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up, the podcast.
Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew, welcome back to All Chiefed Up, the #1 independent Chiefs channel on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoy any of the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. Mike, let's jump right into it, man. The Chiefs are moving to Kansas.
Because today we are announcing an agreement to bring our beloved Kansas City Chiefs right here to Kansas.
RIP Arrowhead Stadium 2031.
Man, let me tell you something. You live, you learn, death, taxes, and everything that you grew up with gets completely demolished by the time you croak. That's what you got. But Look, life moves on, man. Life moves on. It's bound to happen. Change has to come. I've seen a lot of Chiefs Kingdom today just being like really bitter about this and saying, look,
of course, yeah.
I'm from Missouri. The team won't even be here anymore. I will never spend another dime on the Chiefs. They're not in my state. And it's like, well, Kansas fans spend money on Chiefs gear. We're in Kentucky. We spend money on Chiefs gear. Like, don't be such a baby. You guys voted this out, by the way.
Right. Mike, I know that you've talked about this a lot. They kind of got bamboozled by their local government, and like they get taxed like crazy, and they just finally took a stand at the wrong damn time.
Yeah.
That was the wrong time to take a stand on your $100 a year. Okay. Bad idea. They called your bluff. Now the Chiefs are going to be in Kansas in 2031. And here's the thing about it. I'm not exactly a fan of it, but I don't hate it as much as other people do. We've talked about how we don't really have a dog in the fight. We're all the way over in Kentucky. And I understand why people in Missouri and all old head Chiefs fans would be kind of upset about this because, Mike, we love Arrowhead as much as the next person.
Absolutely.
It's freaking iconic. The first time we went there, it was just like a crazy experience. And it's just like something that you'll never forget. And that's a feeling that you're never going to get anywhere else. I actually told my fiance, like, hey, we got to get you to Arrowhead within these next 5-6 years because you got to go at least one time.
Well, it's 4 years. She's got 4 years.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
It's late. You can't do math. But let me tell you something. 2031 is when they're going to be moved out. You know, Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be close to, I think, like what, his 13th, 14th, 15th season off the top of my head.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy. We've got to do something to protect him along the way. But anyways, you got 4 years of Arrowhead. Enjoy it. We learned that they're going to build a state-of-the-art domed stadium. They're trying to get Final Fours. They're trying to get Super Bowls. And look, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly, she come out today. She was super excited. They are pumped. They just absolutely took Missouri and Jackson County to school on how to negotiate and what they did. It took everything they had and just completely swamped it.
They beat them up and took their lunch money, brother.
Exactly. And the thing about it is the Chiefs are moving the entire operation there. They're just moving the entire operation across the state line. They're going to build a new headquarters. They're going to build a new practice facility in Olathe. They're just not messing around. They're just taking it all. Jackson County gets nothing. They keep claiming they're going to fight tooth and nail for the end. I think it's over with. You're fighting a losing battle at this point. You had your chance.
It's done.
Yes, you messed it up. And look, a lot of people are really mad about it. I already said they're not going to support the Chiefs. A lot of people are on the side of like, you know, it is what it is. At least we're going to have a nice stadium. Maybe this is going to extend Patrick Mahomes' career. Maybe that he could get from that 15th year to the 20th year because he's in a dome. I don't know, man. There's a lot of positives to moving along and getting a dome and things like that. But I totally understand it, taking the mystique of Arrowhead and just that feeling of seeing Arrowhead for the first time as a Chiefs fan. That's going to be stripped from you.
Right. Well, here's the thing, man. Like you mentioned, life goes on, things change. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And there's an ending to everything. Even if it's good, if it's bad, there's an ending. And there's going to be an ending to the Chiefs in Arrowhead. There just is. And now's the time. And I think the only way that you can look at this as a fan, you could be upset. You can be bummed out. You can even be a little pissed off if you want. But I think the only way to look at it is they're literally going 25 minutes up the road. So it's not like you lost your team. There are a lot of states that lose their team completely. I mean, you got to think about the St. Louis people that lost the Rams. Missouri's lost 2 NFL teams now.
Right.
So, they've been through this before, not to this extent, but I mean, this is literally a 25-minute drive. And here's the thing, man. I don't mean to offend anybody, but the area is so much nicer. Like, so I think you got to look at it from a positive lens and like, dude, it's going to be in a nicer place with nicer surroundings, with better things for anyone traveling to the games. There's a lot of people that go to these games from far away, Mike. We drive all the way from Kentucky to go to games. That's an 8-hour drive. We know people that watch our show that go from Ohio and Nashville and like everywhere. They drive a long way to get there. So now when they get there, at least there's stuff around the stadium that's nice, stuff that accommodates them, because Raytown is not the place, bro. It's just not. That county's done nothing to put anything around Arrowhead in all the years that they've had the opportunities. And they missed the mark. And now we can look forward to a state-of-the-art dome or whatever they want to do. The only thing I'm begging is don't do turf. Don't do turf.
Hey, man.
But
they put a Casey's next to it. That was the last new thing I've seen appear over there was a Casey's across the street.
There's going to be a Buc-ee's too. Apparently, I saw that somewhere. So they're trying to pump it up, man, and it's right there beside the racetrack. It's right there beside Children's Mercy where they play.
Oh,
soccer.
they're putting a Buc-ee's next to the one where they're going to build the location in Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Raytown. They got the Casey's. That's the new. It's been Taco Bell, and now they got a Casey's.
That's the consolation prize.
I mean, you up the I mean, Casey's Pizza is tough to beat.
No, but I mean, like I was saying, it's right by Children's Mercy. It's right by the track. It's right by Legends Outlet. There's a lot of things over there, and I think that it'll be a good thing. Obviously, for the state of Kansas. Sorry, Missouri guys. It just is what it is. You all lost, and I think here's the thing. I actually said this earlier, Michael. Me and you were talking about it off camera. It's like, I don't want to be that guy that points this out, but I will say that Missouri fans have been pretty nasty to the Kansas fans for a long time. And they've always rubbed it in that it's not their team, it's not their city, blah, 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 blah. Now, how the table has turned.
God, you reap what you sow sometimes,
Yeah.
And speaking of reaping what you sow, okay, let's talk about what the Chiefs were able to do versus the Titans. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't think there was anything to take from that game. The biggest takeaway was the fact that the coaches didn't really give us a glimpse into the 2026 team and the future of what we got.
That's all we wanted, too.
Exactly. And so I just want to bring up the snap counts. This is something we can evaluate and take a look at. If we look at the offensive snap counts, Esapole, Creed Humphrey, Chew Godric, Trey Smith, Kingsley, they all played all 45% or all 45 snaps, 100%. And I think that was fine. Nothing there jumped out at me. I don't think you're going to rotate them unless there's an injury. Does it surprise you that Juju Smith-Schuster, who's going on 29 and a half, 30 years old, he'll be 30 next year. He's not under contract. He probably won't be here. Is it crazy that he played 91% of the offensive snaps, 41 out of 45, and Jalen Royals played 7% of the snaps, and that is basically Jalen Royals in a nutshell. That would be what he would do within this offense, is more than likely the Juju role.
Absolutely. I think that's just ridiculous by the coaching staff to not go ahead and get Jalen Royals out there. Let's get him some snaps in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put him on the field. Let's go ahead and get his feet wet because we thought this guy could be a future piece for this team. We're still hoping that he can be, but I think it would have been nice to get him out there and get him started. One thing that jumps out to me, Mike, is Xavier Worthy playing 84% of the snaps. This guy, he has a shoulder injury. He's waiting for offseason to have surgery.
Right.
He went out there and played 84% of the snaps, with a lot of the guys that didn't play probably could have. They were just on that injury report because, let's be honest here, the Chiefs are trying to lose these games, and also they're trying to just save some people, But why did Xavier Worthy end up with 84% of the snaps when he's already playing with an injury? That's wild to me.
Again, you could have given some snaps to Jalen Royals. Another one that jumps out to me is Isaiah Pacheco. We've already heard that he is not in the future plans in 2026, but he played 73% of the snaps, the most snaps by any running back. He was actually featured in the passing game, running game, 33 snaps. If you look all the way down the board, you'll see Brashard Smith took 8 snaps and zero carries for Brashard Smith. That is just malpractice because Brashard Smith needed to be out there.
It's exactly the same thing as Juju getting all the snaps over Jalen Royals. It's identical. It's just something that shouldn't have happened. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. And I understand trying to be a little bit loyal to Isaiah Pacheco. Like, hey, if you're not going to be in the future for the Kansas City Chiefs, let's get you out there and get you some snaps and show you off a little bit and see if we can help get you a contract. I can respect that, but not at, the expense of not being able to play a guy that you might need in the future, right? I think just like Brashard Smith and Jalen Royals both, they need all the snaps they can get now while they're young. I mean, these games, they don't mean anything to the Chiefs. Nothing. Like, honestly, they want to lose them. They want to get a better draft pick. Why not use this time to get these guys acquainted with the NFL? I know Brashard Smith's got a lot of snaps this year compared to Jalen Royals, but he hasn't got a ton of carries. I would have loved to have seen him get some.
I think the last little thing I'll bring up is Kelsey led with 35 snaps. After him, of course, Noah Gray.
Well, Jared Wiley should be getting snaps, brother.
But Jared Wiley had 2, and it feels like you know what you have with Noah Gray. And at this point, I feel like Noah Gray's time as a serviceable tight end 1, if Kelsey were to step away, is kind of over with. I feel like you need to test Wiley. Yes, you missed your window. I think you need to test Wiley, see what you have there. That way you can start looking at Brenningstool when he's ready to go. And if those two ain't there, you may want to draft a guy like Kenyon Sadiq in the first round. I mean, that's an option. But you can't see that you invested, what was it, a 4th-round pick on Jared Wiley a couple drafts ago, and this kid's not even been able to get out there, and they won't give him snaps when meaningless games. So to me, it's ridiculous. So let's jump over to the defense, and I mean, it gets even worse over here. Nick Bolton, Chamari Connor, again, took 100% of the snaps. Chamari Connor took 73 defensive snaps in a meaningless game. And where is Jaden Hicks? All the way down the board. 17 total snaps. And even Mike Edwards at 12 total snaps. You could have played Edwards over Chamari Connor and Brian Cook a few times if you wanted. I don't know why you needed to play these guys. If you plan on signing these guys back, Connor's going to be here. But Brian Cook is coming up on a contract. If you plan on getting him back, you know what it is. Like, he doesn't have to play for a contract at this point. So I don't understand that. To me, that is just insane. And the fact that you didn't give Kevin Knowles but 18 snaps too. Cooper McDonald with 5.
Yeah.
And Jack Cochran takes 29 snaps. And Jeffrey Boss is not even on this list, Steve. Jeffrey Boss is 0 snaps, man. That right there blows my mind.
Only played 55% of the snaps. It's crazy to me. And Christian Fulton played 63%.
Right.
That's egregious. I'll tell you what, though, the one thing I do agree with this is I think that this is the type of game that Chamari Connor should play 100% of the snaps. Because, like, he don't need to be playing in any meaningful games. Like, that guy is a third stringer at best, so this is a perfect game for him.
And look, the Titans move the ball up and down the field on this team and eat him alive, and that's what you would expect from a third string player that should have been getting 100% of the snaps.
Mike, I'm starting to think my 40-year-old fat ass could beat Chamari Connor in a route. I think I might be able to.
You're pushing it. Dude, why does Nick Bolton get 100% of the snaps in a meaningless football game when he has had a little bit of injury problems for the past 2 years? He's played a lot of football.
You just signed him to a big contract.
He's just got a big contract. Why would he have been out there playing 100% of the snaps? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. These coaches, man, have made some of the weirdest, just the most egregious
we'll have to see.
decisions.
We'll have to see what they plan on doing in these last few games, but it's sad that we're going to have to lose to the Broncos on Christmas. We're going to have to lose to the Raiders. I mean, come on, dude. We're going out real sad this year. This has been a crazy year to be a Chiefs fan. We've been on such a high for almost a decade. And then this year, we have watched the worst year of Chiefs football since 2012. And then on top of that, we had to watch our franchise quarterback go down with 2 knee injuries, the torn LCL and ACL, which was egregious to watch. It should have never happened. Like, we should have been protecting this guy. He shouldn't have been doing way too much. And it keeps getting worse and worse, right? And then all of a sudden the team's moving to Kansas. It's just when it rains, it pours, brother.
I tweeted that out today. So when you're watching this, it'll be 9 days. So I'll just say it with 9 days. In the past 9 days, Kansas City Chiefs fans have had to witness Patrick Mahomes go out with an ACL injury. They've had to witness being bounced from the playoffs. They got their team completely moved to Kansas, like just up, and they're gone out of your state. They got rolled by the 2-win Titans dumpster fire they got going on in Nashville, and they just beat us like a drum, dude. Like, this has been the worst 9-day run in Chiefs history, possibly.
It's been really, really bad. Mike, I made the mistake of saying after Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL that we had finally reached the bottom of the barrel. And then they turn around and the team's moving to Kansas, bro. So it's like, it keeps coming. Let's just hope right now we've hit peak assness or whatever you want to call it. Like,
are you at the top of the mountain or the bottom of the mountain when you're ass?
I don't know. The next great touchdown is coming, and now you can bet on it. We've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook because it has all your favorite ways to bet touchdowns this NFL season. DraftKings has industry-leading live betting market availability with dynamic odds that move with the game and more open live betting markets more often. Experience the game as a fan even further by getting in on the action now and using our promo code ACU when signing up. With DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Okay, well, hey, look, we've been talking about a lot of things, but let's talk about the 2026 free agents we got coming up, Steve. Let's go down the list, and let's, as a group, decide who we will keep going into the 2026 season and who do we want to get rid of. So I'm going to start at the top of the list right here. Travis Kelce. Now, I don't think we can make a decision on him. He makes his own decision.
Correct.
If Kelce wants to come back, you're bringing him back for a good price, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I really do, in my heart, hope that Kelce gives it another go. And I know a lot of people are not going to like that, but I do think Kelce, he was still one of the top tight ends in the league this year. I think the offense altogether was disheveled. I won't put a lot of that on him. I think the coaches carry the most of that weight. If Kelce wants to go out a better fashion than what he's going to go out if he retires this year, I totally understand it, and I would love for that to happen. I don't want his last passes to be coming from Gardner Minshew, Chris Oladokun, and these types. I would like to see Travis Kelce go out, with a little bit of just respect from everybody as opposed to beat down and everyone making fun of the Chiefs right now. And I'd like to see him take his last pass from Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely. I think Kelce is the exception. And even if he does it, he don't have to come back and play 100% of the snaps. You can bring him back, let him help develop your next in line tight end. And again, I don't know if that's going to be Noah Gray or not. We'll get to that in a minute. Marquise Hollywood Brown, he made $7 million this year, Steve, for the Chiefs. I think he's going to be 29 and a half years old going into the next season, or 29 pretty much. I think it's probably done with Hollywood. What do you think?
Yeah, they haven't really utilized them the way that you thought they were going to, which I think they had every intention of using Hollywood Brown quite a bit. If you go back to a couple of seasons ago, when they first acquired him throughout training camp and everything, they heavily ran the offense through Hollywood Brown. But then he got that injury on the very first play he ever played for the Chiefs in the preseason. And that kind of like changed course. He was out for most of that year. He come back late in that playoff run there. And I just don't think he ever got to where they want him to be. And they'd already changed course at that point. They started really hitting up Xavier Worthy and a lot of these other guys. So I think Hollywood Brown could probably move on here. If he were to come back for like dirt cheap, I wouldn't be mad at it. I do think he's a better receiver than what we've been able to get out of him, because we have seen flashes to where I feel like he fits in our offense pretty decent. Patrick's hit him on a couple of long balls. He gets open quite a bit, and he's made some great catches. So I wouldn't be mad at it, but I don't think they'll do it. I think that he's going to want enough money to where he can move on. Yeah,
absolutely. He showed flashes in this offense, but as we've talked about time and time again, we want to spread the ball around too much, and I think Marquise Brown is a volume type guy. That's the only way you're getting your production out of him. Let's move on. Charles Omenihu, edge. I think we can both safely say he's got to go.
Later.
Peace out. Jack Cochran. I'm not signing back Jack Cochran.
Bye,
now,
Jack Cochran.
Could Jack Cochran come back? Absolutely. Spags has a hard on for him, just like Jamari Connor. He thinks he's good. He's a special teamer. So, yes, Jack Cochran could be back. Look, they're probably not going to cut a lot of these guys that are just special teams guys, because you have to field the roster. But at the same time, I think you can go find rookies or, you've got players on the practice squad that's just as good as Jack Cochran.
Yeah, we're looking at one that got 5 snaps the other day, Cooper McDonald. I think that he shows a lot of promise.
Absolutely.
Jack Cochran, I think that the best thing that he's done for the Chiefs organization was be Travis Kelce's punching bag during camp a couple years ago. That was entertaining, right?
You also got Brandon George, and I like Brandon George out of Pitt. I thought he was a good athlete. Let's move down the list. Najee Johnson,
Bye.
hell no.
See ya.
Peace. Jerry Tillery, look, he had a few flashes this year, but it was nothing that I want to bring back. I think you could get somebody in the draft. Even Zach Pickens, we seen a few snaps from him the other day. I think he does just as much as Jerry Tillery.
Yeah.
It's wasted money. James Winchester, long snapper, look, he's going to be almost 37. Does he want to come back? If he wants to play, sure. Kareem Hunt, if he wants to come back, sure.
Yes.
I'll have Kareem Hunt. I think there's value for Kareem Hunt on short yardage situations.
A lot of it.
Brian Cook, Steve. This is a polarizing one. A lot of people don't like Brian Cook. We thought he had a decent season this year. There are times where he gets a little lost, though, right?
I'm going to say I would take Brian Cook back at this juncture. I think that he played well enough this year to earn something small. I wouldn't give him
to get a second contract, huh?
I would at least give him a little tester, a little filler, right? Maybe a little 3-year deal or something like that, that you can get out of after 2 years if you want to. Something I'm not for sure, but I do like Brian Cook. I think that he didn't really hit the mark that they expected him to early,
right?
But he did learn behind Justin Reed, so I think he learned quite a bit. And then he dealt with some injury issues. He had that broken ankle that we saw in that Dolphins game a couple of years ago. It took him a while to get over that, and then to bounce back from that. And I think once he got his feet under him, he looked pretty solid this season. I think he had a lot of games where Brian Cook stood out to me on that defense there, and I think I would take him back on something like that.
He's making about $1.5 million this year on his final season of his rookie deal. I don't know what he would demand to come back for 3 years. I wouldn't want to pay him much more than what he's already making, and I'm pretty sure he's going to want to try to get more than that. How much would you go up per year? Would you go $3, $4, $5 million on him per year?
I have
no idea.
No idea what the safety market is. I wouldn't even have a good guess here, man. I'm just saying if it's something feasible, if it's something that doesn't break the bank, if it doesn't keep you from signing players that you absolutely have to have, I would definitely keep Brian Cook around.
Right. So he would be one of the few on the short list here with Kareem Hunt. Derek Nottie, adios, buddy. Shouldn't have been here this year.
I thought we already did this once, bro.
Right. Juju offers a decent amount, but they just don't use him properly. He's a good leader in the locker room. I think we learned that this year, that Andy Reid and them really valued his leadership in the locker room.
If he's only going to make up $1.4 million, then sure.
It's possible.
I mean, he's still just 30 years old. He's got a ton of experience, and I thought Juju played pretty well this year at times. We know that he blocks well. He does all the dirty work, and he'll get in there and have fun doing it. Juju's a vital piece, I think, for a young wide receiver room. Somebody to look up to, somebody who's been there, done that, has some good advice for the guys, can show them some techniques and show them how to really do the things when they are not just getting the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think Juju is good for the locker room, too, like you said. And I think if you can get him for this cheap, if he could do another 1 year, something like that, I don't know if I would be against that.
Absolutely. But I think the longer Juju stays on this team, you're hindering guys like Jalen Royals and giving Andy Reid a reason not to do it.
I agree with that too. So it's kind of
and if the Chiefs go draft one this year, which they should probably try to draft a wide receiver this year, I don't want to get back to where we have to take 7, 8 wide receivers on a roster.
Yeah, no,
it's getting ridiculous.
It is. I think those days are over, man. Let's move on to Leo Chenal. To me, Mike, this is a must sign.
Dude, he is an absolutely must sign. Leo Chenal is a dog.
A dog, bro.
If we don't bring back Leo Chenal, Brett Veach, put in your walking papers, because if I were Clark Hunt, I'd go down there and fire him myself if you can't get this guy back on the roster.
Mike, I absolutely think it's been egregious that they've underutilized Leo Chenal in the years that we've had him. I think Leo could have played a lot more. He could even play a different position. Leo could do a lot of things, man. He's a great football player, and I think he's one of the best football players that we've drafted in a long time. He's just well-rounded. He's an athlete. He's hard-nosed, and just that's the best way to describe Leo. Like, he is a football player, and he's damn good, and he can do whatever you want him to do. And
I can describe him. Violence, physicality. He wants to hit somebody. And that's what I like about Leo. He's an old school football player, Steve.
And I think Leo has still yet to hit his ceiling. I really truly believe that. So Leo
would be great as a middle linebacker here. And honestly, I don't think they should have re-signed back Nick Bolton. As much as I love him, I think Leo should have made the transition, and that's the way it should have been.
Yeah, Leo's a must sign.
Absolutely, Leo. We got a few more. Let's go through these really quickly. Tonyan, Bush, I think they're gone. Minshew did escape an ACL injury today. If it's not an ACL and it doesn't hurt him for a long time, do you bring him back as the backup next year if he'll come back?
If he was able to get back on the football field and at least play 2 of these last couple of games or whatever, like I want to see.
He's probably not going to be back out.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will, but I would like to be able to see. We've not got to see what he can do, honestly.
Right.
We saw him dinking and dunking a little bit after his knee was hurt, but I mean, Gardner, like we've talked about before, he had some hella good years with the Jaguars. He played respectable in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
The dumpster fire that is the Las Vegas Raiders, I won't hold anything against him that happened in Las Vegas, but I think Gardner is a good fit for a backup QB for the Chiefs. He's a gunslinging type guy. He's not afraid to do what he needs to do, and I think he fits in well. Good for the locker room. Him and Mahomes, he seems to have a lot of respect for Mahomes, and I think he also has a lot of good advice for Mahomes, being a veteran in the league, and I think it's a good fit. I just wish we could have got to see a little bit more in these last few games to see if we're going to be comfortable, just in case Patrick can't come back at the beginning of the season. Like, is Gardner going to be able to run this offense for, say, 4 weeks and us win 3 games or at least 2?
Look, I brought this up in the live stream yesterday. Minshew kind of struggled a little bit in his first healthy series, which he got injured on the 3rd play. But it felt like Oladoke had done a little bit better. And because he's more mobile and the plays are just stale and they break down, Minshew's more of a pocket kind of guy. I don't think he's much of a leg, get out and create kind of guy. And that, for me, that scares me a little bit in this offense, because if they do not change it up, I don't know if a pocket passer works in this offense. I think he's going to end up getting himself hurt again.
Well, I'll go with what Jeffrey Simmons said, the defensive tackle for the Titans.
He said, who the hell's Chris Oladoke?
Exactly. The reason why Chris Oladoke did okay is because he's mobile. He could get out of the pocket. He could make a couple things happen. But the big thing is they had no idea who he was. They've never seen tape on him. They didn't know what to expect. But if someone knows what to expect with Oladoke, you're in trouble.
Right. Let's move on. TYQUAN Thornton. A lot of people love TYQUAN Thornton. Steve, I think he had about as hot of a start as you were going to get. Camp carried it all the way into week 6, 7 to Rashee Rice come back. Chiefs just completely went away from him. I think that was just one of the most ginormous coaching blunders we've seen this year, was the underutilized talent of TYQUAN Thornton, what he was able to do. $1.1 million. He's probably going to get a bigger contract offer from somewhere else. Do you bring him back? I think I would if he would come back for that price. I think I would take him back over Juju. What would you do?
Absolutely keep TYQUAN Thornton. I mean, the kid's only 25 years old. He's been in the league for, I think, 3-4 years now. This kid can play. Like, we saw that earlier this year. But my recommendation would be, if you are going to retain him, if you're going to keep him here, use him.
Figure out a way to get him in there, man.
Dude, there are ways to get him in there. They should have been utilizing him so much more this season. Dude, they could literally line him up like they used to do MVS, and he would be killer. And the fact that TYQUAN Thornton has been the one deep threat that has bailed us out even in a couple of games this year.
Absolutely.
I would love to keep that around, because, I mean, if you're thinking about it, you got Rashee Rice, you got Xavier Worthy, but if Juju leaves, you got to start looking at some of these younger guys. And I think TYQUAN Thornton was great.
I would much rather spend $3.5 million on TYQUAN Thornton than $7 to $7.5 million on Hollywood again.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like that's worth it. Janarius Robinson, we didn't even get to see him. He went on IR. He did have a sack in the preseason, but I mean, come on. I don't think he was going to be a needle mover. I'd probably move on there.
Right.
Josh Williams, I always liked Josh Williams. I always thought he played well, but he can't get out of the Spags doghouse. I'm not wasting any money on him, and I'm not going to waste his time at this point.
Correct.
We got some restricted free agents. Why the hell's Keontae Ingram still on this freaking roster?
I don't know. That's ridiculous.
Bro, it's stupid. He should be gone. Mike Caliendo, adios. Look, Andy's probably going to love him, but I think we could go younger.
I mean, even for a depth piece at this point, I just don't think it's great to keep Mike Caliendo around.
Eric Scott, we picked up from the Cowboys a few years ago. He's yet to even get anywhere. He's out. Ariza, I wouldn't mind bringing him back. He's corrected some of his flaws this year.
Good.
He's got a little more touch. Nico, you bringing Nico back?
No.
I don't think I will either. That leaves Jalen Watson and Pacheco. We're not bringing back Pacheco. We already know that. Are you bringing back Jalen Watson? And if you are, does that mean you're going to trade bait Trip McDuffie?
I think it kind of goes hand in hand at this point. I don't think you can afford to pay both of them a contract in the next couple of years, right? So Jalen Watson, I think there are going to be some teams after him. Like I've said this 1,000 times, I think the Baltimore Ravens would pay him a lot of money. I think there's a couple of other teams out there that would do the same. The Chiefs are going to have to pay a little bit for him. And the way I see it, I like Jalen Watson, but there's also several games where we had to watch him get cooked a lot too. So a little inconsistency there. But I think
he's battled a lot of injuries too.
he has. And Jalen Watson was a 7th-round draft pick, guys. He was not supposed to do what he was supposed to do. We've got more than our value out of this kid. So if he were to walk, if we were to let him go, I'm not going to be hurt about that because we got more than we bargained for with Jalen Watson, right? It'd be cool to bring him back. It'd be cool to be able to get him and McDuffie back. It'd be cool if they actually decided to play Noah Williams and Jalen Watson on the edges and use McDuffie in the slot and actually have a killer DB room. But I just don't see them doing it. If they keep on with what they're doing and what Spags has been doing, then at this point, bro, I don't even know if I care. Maybe just let Jalen Watson walk and trade Trent McDuffie. I don't even know.
Jalen Watson is the free agent to watch this offseason because I think if the Chiefs sign him or match an offer, they're looking to get rid of McDuffie. I think if the Chiefs do not match an offer and let him walk, then they're looking to maybe pay Trent McDuffie.
It could be very telling.
That was a pretty good exercise to go through those 2026 free agents. We didn't keep very many. I think the ones we kept, I think a lot of people agree. So get down in the comments. Let us know if there's anybody we cut that you would take or anybody that we took that you would like to get rid of. And
Right.
Steve, let's do this exercise with some coaches. So let's talk about the Chiefs coaches in 2026, y'all. And let's go through these and decide who we're going to keep and who we haven't. And Steve, I'll let you kick it off right here, baby.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Kicking
Your
it off
number one
right
fan.
with assistant head coach and special teams coordinator Dave Toub. Look, Mike, I've said this, and I've said it very publicly. I think that Dave Toub is a head that needs to be chopped. And I'll tell you why. I'll explain it one more time. But Dave Toub has been absolutely atrocious on special teams. Also, when you've had such a bad season as Andy Reid, I think what you need to do is make a statement. Make a statement that this kind of coaching, that this kind of failure is unacceptable. And what better way to do that than to axe your assistant head coach? Like, that's the one right there, baby. Get the guy at the top right under you and be like, look, this is the example I'm setting. And then we'll keep going with the rest of them. But if I will fire my assistant head coach that I've been buddies with for this long because
Right.
he can't do his job correctly, then what's that saying about you? That's the tone that Andy needs to set this offseason.
Right. I'm with you. I wouldn't mind seeing Toub go. I think there's been a lot of special teams blunders for years.
Yeah.
It's just not really there was a time that he was the top of the game. But I
He's
feel
bad.
like everybody else, it's just kind of passed him by. Let's move on to Matt Nagy. Steve, a lot of people want Matt Nagy gone. I don't know if you have to fire Matt Nagy. He may take a job. He didn't sign his extension for 2026. So, I mean, he may just walk away from the team. I think he kind of knows that people want him out. I don't know why he'd want to stay anyway.
Right, absolutely. But if he does want to stay, and if that's something that, which, I mean, he didn't sign any kind of extension last year, kind of left this open to be like a free agent type
Right.
deal for him to find something else. I say, Matt Nagy, go find something else, because even if you don't, we're gonna cut you loose.
Absolutely. So we're not taking back Toub or Nagy. Spags, I'm keeping Spags around.
Yeah.
I don't think Spags is enough of a problem. He's just got to get over this love affair with Jamari Conner. I think that's his downfall right now.
Two things. I think a hard talk has to be happening with Steve Spagnuolo. If I'm Andy Reid, I'm like, look, brother, I know that you're one of the best to ever do this defensive coordinator thing. I also know that last season was unacceptable. We've got to stop playing zone defense on third down and allowing
Absolutely.
teams to pick us apart. As a matter of fact, let's just almost take zone out of your vocabulary, because you're much better when we were playing man. Mike, when we had all those physical corners like L'Jarius Sneed, we just played man up. We played badass defense. We start dropping into the zone all the time, and now we're just getting crushed by fat tight ends that can get out there and find a soft spot. We're getting crushed by receivers that can't beat anybody in the world, but they're wide open. You saw that in the Titans game. That's the one conversation I would have with him, aside the Jamari Conner conversation. Dude, you've got to stop getting fixated on these guys and putting them out there. I'm telling you right now, dude, 110%. Jaden Hicks is a better football player all around than Jamari Conner, and he should be on that football field. And what we've seen this year has been downright malpractice by Steve Spagnuolo, and he has cost this team games. He cost some games because he kept putting a guy out there that can't do his damn job to save his life. He literally got his ass beat at every turn all year long, over and over and over again. And
Preach.
the dumbest people on the planet that don't know shit
Preach.
about football could tell him,
Preach.
get that guy off the football field and we'll do a lot freaking better. But he just wouldn't freaking do it.
Okay.
So, bye.
Steve.
If you can't get Jamari Conner off the field, Steve, you got to go.
Steve, you pop a blood pressure medicine, you calm down just a little bit. I'm with you, though. Spags, that's the conversation you got to have. I want more man-to-man, less of this zone. Pull back on that. Like, you don't even got the personnel to do it. That's why we keep getting beat up. Like, Nick Bolton, guarding people in zone coverage. Get out of here. This dude is the least quick guy on the planet, bro.
It's stupid.
Stephen Hawking could beat this guy at a 5-yard race, okay? Yeah. It's not happening. Rick Burkholder, look, he's fine. I ain't cutting the sports medicine guy. I don't think he's done anything egregious. Let's move on here. Defensive quality control coach, Louis. I'm not touching Louis. He's fine. Pass game coordinator, Joe Blameyer. I think we got to have this entire conversation. Him and Girardi, he's going to be coming up in a minute. Everything to do with the offense at this point, I think you need to gut, and I think we need to move on.
Gut it completely. Let Andy restructure his offense. I'm okay with Andy keeping his core offense. He's the West Coast guy. We talked about this earlier on a live stream, Mike. He has his base offense, how he likes to run his offense. And it's always been that West Coast offense, kind of spread it out a little bit, dink and dunk, this and that. But he always would be right with the trends of the league. Or actually, he was ahead of the curve, you know? And now he's fallen behind, and he's just doing the same dumb things over and over again. So I think he's got to tweak his offense, right? And I think the best way to just kind of re-implement the whole thing and change this thing and get back to being the innovative, creative, offensive mind that everyone thinks Andy Reid is, and who I think he actually can be, I think you got to gut that offensive coaching staff. So Joe Blameyer, sorry, buddy.
Dude, anybody that's scared to drive a Ferrari, don't buy it.
Yeah,
okay,
come on.
If you're scared to game plan for Patrick Mahomes, you don't deserve him. You don't deserve him.
You go out there and you game plan for somebody like Daniel Jones.
Right. I'm not touching the strength and conditioning coaches. I'm not even going to talk about that. I couldn't tell you who the best strength and conditioning coach in the world is anyway to replace him. Defensive line coach Joe Cullen. Steve, defensive line has not really been a big time factor for our defense in a while. But I think this goes back to Spags a little bit. I think as long as Spags is here, as long as Spags keeps getting what he's getting, and he's coming out of the box a little bit. They drafted B.J. Thompson. He really didn't get to do much because of the medical stuff. They did draft Ashton Gelati this year, and he was a little bit different than what we're used to. But look, as long as Spags is here, I just feel like you're never going to get those top-tier pass rushers. He just don't want them, and I think that limits what Joe Cullen can do.
Yeah, I think Joe Cullen – I think we can keep him around for a little bit longer. I don't think he's been very, I guess, just I don't know what the word is. He's not been developing guys. If that's part of his job is to develop that defensive line, we've seen him draft. Yeah, we've seen him draft player after player after player on that defensive line that hasn't panned out, right? And also, how much of the decision-making does he have when it's, hey, we drafted Felix Anudike-Uzomah. This guy's kind of fast. He's got some bend. He's got some moves on the edge. Let's put some weight on him, see if he can set the edge. Or Omar Norman-Lott. Should we make him fat and make him a Derek Nottie, even though he's one of the best pass rushers we've ever seen at the defensive tackle position?
Yeah.
Like, how much of that was
Joe
Cullen?
Calls that? Is that
because
Spags
if you
or
find
Cullen?
out, if that was Joe Cullen, then he can go. Because those are dumb decisions. We've got to stop drafting players and trying to change them. We have to start drafting players that are good, and we have to highlight their strengths, not try to change them. And it would really depend on that. You know, for me, is Joe Cullen making some of these decisions? You know, Find that out. Dig into it.
Right. Linebackers coach Brendan Daly. Brendan, if you're watching, don't get mad at me for what I'm about to say, but dude, you look like Perez Hilton. Like straight up.
He does kind of.
It's wild. I'll give him a pass. I think he's done well with the limitations of Nick Bolton. I think Leo has developed. Now, he might be behind the 8 ball a little bit, but again, I think it's a lot of Spags and the schemes he wants to run and different things. But I do think that Leo developed pretty well, and we've yet to see what Jeffrey Bossa could do. But I think he coached up Coop McDonald in the preseason. Some of these guys, he got Cam Jones, and he got him on the roster, and then he was just, let go this year. But I think he's done okay.
Brendan Staley has done a respectable job. I'll keep him.
Quit to call him Brendan Staley. It's Brendan Daly and assistant running backs coach Mark DeLeon and assistant special teams coach Porter Elliott. Look, Porter can go with Toub, and Mark, you could probably go with Todd Pinkston too. We're going to get to that in just a second for sure.
Keep it moving.
But yeah, we got to start at the top. Wide receivers coach Connor Embry. Steve, I think that's an easy get the hell out.
Time to go, brother. See you later.
Right. Statistical and analysis coordinator, don't care. Quarterbacks, David Girardi, we already talked about him. He's gone. Okay, I'm getting rid of him too. This is a big one. Offensive line coach Andy Heck. A lot of people just do not like Heck, and a lot of people think he's good. What do you think?
I'm okay with moving on from Andy Heck if you can find someone that you think is a good replacement. And the reason why I say that is the same thing I was kind of talking about with Joe Cullen. I just don't think he develops guys very well. We've seen them draft at this offensive line for years now. And
Absolutely.
I think he's got some gimmies. He's got some, pick that putt up. It's good.
Oh, yeah.
With Creed Humphrey and Trey
Creed Humphrey.
Smith. And even
Josh Simmons
Kingsley.
this year, to be honest.
Yeah, Josh Simmons and even Kingsley, dude. If anyone would have thought, hey, we're going to make Kingsley a guard right off the rip, you'd have been like, he's going to be a great guard, right? Like, It was always a question mark if he's going to be able to jump into the tackle position. So I think that all the successes of the offensive line have kind of been gimmies for Andy Heck, but all the guys like Lucas Niang, Wanye Morris, all these other cats, dude, he's never developed into nothing. I mean, Hunter Norzad, CJ Hansen.
Let's talk about this one. What about even Jawan Taylor? He comes over and you had 3 years and we just now got a little stretch of games where he didn't have the same penalties. He can't line up properly. These are things coaches are on your ass about, and he's not doing it. I would be totally fine getting rid of Andy Heck.
We've seen them trade up in the draft to get Darian Kennard, who was an absolute tree trunk of a right tackle with the University of Kentucky, a mean, just nasty player, a lot like Trey Smith. And we couldn't do anything with this guy. They didn't even try him at guard. And then he ended up playing at Green Bay as a guard and been doing great. And it's just another miss there.
Yeah, right here, look, Matt House, you're fine. Corey, you could stay as an assistant offensive line coach. Look, if you get rid of Heck, maybe he could step in, or maybe you just get rid of him. I don't know. I don't care. I would rather have a better offensive line coach than an assistant to just come up.
Right.
But tight ends, Tom Melvin. Look, tight ends have been fine, I guess, but it's been covered by Travis Kelce. Really, the development of Noah Gray wasn't that great. Obviously, Jared Wiley can't even get on the field.
Go ahead and go.
He could probably go too.
Yep.
Defensive back coach Dave Merritt. I honestly think Dave Merritt could probably get a DC job somewhere at this point.
I think so too. And if he can, then I'm all for it. I'd like to see him better himself. I like Dave Merritt. I think he's a good guy, a great coach.
Love Dave Merritt.
I'm keeping him.
Yeah, I'm keeping Dave Merritt for sure. Chris Orr, defensive quality control. I don't mind Chris Orr. He's not too bad at his job. Running backs coach Todd Pinkston. No.
Got to go, brother.
Bro, you were a mid-wide receiver. Why are you coaching running backs? It ain't happening. Spencer Reed, you could stay. You're Andy's son. You look like a lumberjack. I like it. The head strength and conditioning coach, don't care. We got one more little section here. Kevin Saxon, offensive assistant. Look, him, Dan Williams, the assistant quarterbacks coach. Dan Williams played at a D3 college somewhere. Okay, it is what it is. Outside linebacker coach, Rod Wilson, Alex Whittingham. These guys come and go. There's nobody on there that's super egregious. Steve, what are you doing to replace? And I think the biggest one is we got to bring back Eric Bieniemy if you're staying in-house. Am I right or wrong?
I think so. If you're going to stick with somebody that's in the lineage of the Andy Reid coaching tree, I think you just bring back Eric Bieniemy, correct?
Absolutely.
I think that's a shoe-in. A lot of people have talked about, hey, let's get John Gruden as OC. That's a long shot, guys. That'd be cool, but it's just probably not going to happen. There are other guys out there that you would like to woo away from their positions right now, like Cliff Kingsbury would be cool.
Yeah.
Kubiak, or any of these younger guys that have been doing a damn good job. I mean, some people had mentioned on our live stream, there's a girl named Hannah that was talking about the passing game coordinator for the Rams. There's a lot of young guys that are exciting, and they're actually doing well in this new modern NFL. And I think that something fresh would be great. We've also talked about Mike McDaniel. If he were to get fired from the Dolphins, I think that would be great. He's a Shanahan descendant. But here's the thing about it, man. That offense that the Shanahans do run, it kind of coincides with what Andy Reid does. And I think maybe Mike McDaniel would be a good fit with Andy Reid, but have just enough of a twist or just enough of new ideas that Andy would be like, okay, cool, let's try that out and let's do it. So I think there's some options out there that's fun, but the most likely one, and the one that makes the most sense, is just go ahead and admit that, if you're the one that wanted Eric Bieniemy to go, admit that you were wrong. If Eric Bieniemy was the one that decided to leave to pursue other things, and maybe he needs to suck it up and be like, hey man, I'd like to come back. I could do this again. I think that's a good one. We know that it works. We saw it work.
Absolutely. In the NFL, you have two big coaching trees, it seems, right now. You got the Bill Walsh coaching tree that produced the Andy Reeds, the Matt Holmgrens. Let me see. Mike Holmgren, I'm sorry. Mike Holmgren, it produced, Gruden, all those guys. Then you've got the Bill Parcells coaching tree. That produced the Belichicks of the world and Charlie Weiss. Now, look, I say that name because there was a guy out there that I really was intrigued by, Ole Miss offensive coordinator, who now followed Lane Kiffin down to LSU and signed a big deal. So you're not going to be able to get him. But Charlie Weiss Jr., who bridges the gap between the two coaching trees because he was under Belichick, but he was a offensive coordinator in Kansas City back in some of the bad days. But when he was offensive coordinator here, the Chiefs' offense didn't look that bad. Dwayne Bowe got to the Pro Bowl. We led the league in rushing that year with Jamal Charles. It was Matt Castle's possibly his best year as a Chief. So there was a gap there to maybe bring in Charlie Weiss Jr. as young blood with a little bit of crossover to the Bill Parcells and crossover to Kansas City. Now, look, he has nothing to do with Andy, so it probably wouldn't have happened, but I like the young blood idea. But I was starting to look today, and there was a guy I found that I really liked him. He come pretty similar to an Andy Reid coaching tree, and I think he is part of the coaching tree, to be honest, somewhere down the line. But he was the Ravens QB coach that helped develop Lamar Jackson. And when Lamar Jackson come out, everybody said, look, he's not going to – he's a running back. He's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And look, we give Lamar hell for the fun of it because obviously he went to U of L. We're
Lamar's
UK fans.
awesome, bro. He's
but,
good.
Dude, a quarterback coach that helped develop Lamar Jackson, I think you got to give a look at. James Urban. He also interviewed for the Lions OC in 2021. They chose not to go with him. He interviewed for the Eagles in 2020. They chose not to go with him. So he kind of got like an Eric Bieniemy kind of vibe to him, where like he's done well, but they just don't want to give him that OC. I like James Urban as an outside voice, and maybe, look, if you can help develop Lamar Jackson, maybe you can bring something to Patrick Mahomes. Now, I don't know if I want Mahomes to be so mobile after this ACL injury, but if you're going to do that, I like a guy that knows how to take a guy so raw like Lamar Jackson. And Lamar literally, that offense and the way they structure all those game plans, Lamar's throwing gibbies all game long. Like, I want to see that in Kansas City.
Absolutely. Eric, if you're watching, Brett, Andy, y'all get on the phone, make it happen. Make it happen, baby. That's what we want to see. You guys get down in the comments. Let us know what you would like to see as far as the free agents and as far as the coaching staff. Who would you keep? Who would you get rid of? We like to see what you guys have to say about it. Thanks for watching today. If you're watching on YouTube, hit like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share us out with a friend. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Put some kind words if they'll allow you to do it. Let people know where to find some good Chiefs content. And we'll catch you next time, Chiefs Kingdom. Go Chiefs.